tails. Now you know this already because this is what confidence intervals look like. They look like this graphically. If you draw a curve, a bell curve, I'm going to call it a bell because a t-distribution is a bell, it's just not the z-curve. If you're at 95% confidence, how much area is here? So you know that. It's 5%. It's whatever's left over. You've got 95% in the middle, and that means you have 2.5% here and 2.5% here, which means you have 5% in both the tails. You've known this for, I would say, months probably, if not maybe even years. So that's how this chart is set up. How much area should we have in the two tails? Well, Elizabeth, check that out. 5%. You're correct. It's the middle one. If you wanted to be only 98%, if you wanted to be 98% confident, you'd have to go over to 0.02 or 2%. 99% confident, see the difference? Confidence and these numbers are complements of each other. 80% confident, for those of you feeling living on the edge a little bit, maybe, or maybe you want to be at 80%, we'll come back to that in this class too. So we need to be in the middle column all the way down to our 29 row. Let's figure out what it is. So 29, there's our multiplier, 2.045. For 95% confidence on the z-curve, remember what number it was? 1.96 to 2 decimals. Very nice. 1.96. Notice this is a little bit larger. It's a little bit larger because remember the t-curve is a little bit lower. That means the tails are a little bit higher. That means you've got to go a little bit further out to catch 95%. Now, as your sample size gets larger and larger, you need less and less. That's why these things are getting smaller as you go down. And notice, if you get down to the bottom, where the table cleverly says if your sample is large, look what it is, 1.96. That means it collapses to the z-curve if you get a large enough sample. What's large? Don't worry about that. We'll deal with that in time too. Right now, we've got to use this bad boy right here. I've lost him now. There he is. 2.045. We now have a margin of error calculation to do, don't we?
Yes.